Welcome one and all to Great Britain, the country where the sport we all deeply love originated just over 70 years ago. Since 1950, the cars, track layout and teams have changed quite significantly, and although the sport continues to evolve, the innate racing spirit remains ever engraved within the asphalt of this former RAF base. Silverstone hosted the first round of the World Championship in 1950, and while in 2021 we're back from our trip across the pond for the inaugural British Grand Prix in PC Formula 2 for the Invictus Racing League. Silverstone is the longest track on the F2 calendar, just shy of 6 kilometres long, and is home to a plethora of iconic corners such as Maggots, Beckett, Copse, Abbey and more. 2 DRS zones to help with overtaking, one on the Wellington Straight and the other heading into Stowe along the Hanger Straight. So 18 corners in total, and with a track like this and the drivers we have, surely we're in for a cracker of a race tonight. But it isn't just me in the commentary box. Joining me in the commentary box is my good friend and co-commentator Fozzy. How are you, Fozzy?
Hello everyone, yes, here we go then for round 8 of the IRL F2 season on PC, and as you said, we're bringing it to the home of Formula 1 here at Silverstone. Now, you may remember last time around in America, we saw changeable weather conditions throughout, which led to a fun and exciting race full of strategy, ending with Adam taking the win, but he's not on the grid receiving, so there are some big gains at stake for those near the top of the championship.
Yes, indeed, big things at stake. Nico, who had a terrible race out last time, this is possibly the chance for him to regain a bit of control over the championship, as he's currently in second and is 17 points behind his leader, the leader of the championship, Adam in the Alpha Tauri. And further back down, we had Josh Heinze moving up to P4 in the Drivers' Championship. So a good round for him in USA, claiming P3. And we also had a podium from Dino, who is currently 17th in the championship, the Briton driving for McLaren. Britain, I just love this track, Fozzy. It's one of my favourites. How about you?
Yeah, one of my favourites as well. Every corner's got a name, and I think every track where corners have names, names give character, I think. And we look at all these corners, and they've all got a lot of character to them. Obviously, the infamous Maggots and Becketts, but the likes of Village and Loop as well. They're all really fun to drive. The drivers are going to have a lot of fun, especially now as we head into qualifying, where they can really put the pedal down and see what top speeds they can get, and obviously what times we're going to be getting as well. I'm expecting some pretty good times here. Obviously, these are some very, very good drivers, and it's a track, like I say, they're all going to really enjoy. So, yeah, I'm excited for this qualifying session. Have you, based on previous performance, who are you expecting to possibly pit pole today? Have you got your eye on anyone?
It's difficult to choose. I was going to say Adam, but unfortunately he's unable to race tonight. So my easy answer is out of this one. I mean, Amir qualified.
And we've got a wet quali.
Wow, yeah, we have a wet qualifying. Oh, they tell you what, they keep throwing wet events at us, don't they, Fozzy? It's getting a bit of a joke now, so we'll take it. That's to say. But yeah, Amir qualified at P2 back in the USA. Unfortunately, dropped down to 5th. So I'd say a good qualifying opportunity for him here. It's wet weather, so it comes down to pure driving skill this time.
Yeah, you're right. And I think Josh Heinze, I'm going to put an eye on, and I expect him to do quite well. He had well, not the best start to the season, but, 3 of the 4 past races, he's been on the podium. So his race pace is good. And, well, when it comes to top speed, that's kind of eliminated in the wet quali. It is all down to driver skill. So this really could be anyone's game over the next 18 minutes. But as we wait for some of the cars to leave the pit and make sure they're all finalised with their setup, let's just talk a little bit about Silverstone. We've talked about some of the corners, but when it comes to doing Silverstone in the rain, well, every corner, as much as it has character, it becomes a lot more dangerous. The exit of Loop in Sector 1 as you enter the Wellington Straight stands out to me as somewhere it's possibly going to be an area we're going to see a few spins. Drivers may be getting on the power a little bit too much. Don't want to be doing that in the wet. That's going to ruin your quali. But yeah, here we go then. Cars starting to leave the garage. Peter Parker and Keiran both on their outlap now. So obviously keen to get going with the races.
Yeah, the Williams driver of Pizza Parker. There in the Williams, getting a feel for the conditions, is the full wet tyres, the blue rim tyres. It works well with that livery, actually. That's quite nice. I wonder if they designed it that way. But the number 22 car, getting a feel for the track, warming up the tyres. Wow, I'm looking forward to this one. We thought last week's event in the USA with changeable conditions was treacherous enough, but wow, Britain is being Britain once again with the wet weather, Fozzy.
Yeah, you kind of have to expect this from Britain, don't you? A bit of rain, it's never going to... Well, I was going to say it's never going to hurt anyone, but it might hurt these drivers if they go into the barrier a certain amount of miles per hour. Tire temperature is going to be quite an important factor here as well. Obviously, a lot of rain on the track. It's going to be cooling your tyres a little bit more than what the drivers might be expecting. I've already been riding on board with Peter Parker, who's been very tentatively weaving down the old pit straight. He's just gone through the Maggots and Beckett's complex now, so it won't be too long until he starts his first flying lap. Drivers will probably get about 2 or 3 good flying laps in here, I'd imagine. But we've got at least half of the grid out on track now. The likes of Sly Tycoon, Dino, Peter Parker, all out on track.
Yes, and with wet conditions, qualifying has a new level to it. We don't know if this rain's going to get heavier or lighter. In normal qualifying and dry qualifying, the track rubbers in. That might not be the case here, so drivers are going to be encouraged to get out of the pit lane, which is the longest pit lane on the F1 calendar, and get those flying laps in, Fozzy.
Yeah, it is a very long pit lane. 29 seconds lost in the pit stops in the race, so obviously that's going to be playing a little bit into qualifying as well, where time is of the essence. I'm riding on board now with Peter Parker as he goes through his first flying lap and through the village and loop complex. He's done fairly tidy laps so far. He's very cautious as he makes his way onto the Wellington straight, but it is powered down now as we head towards Luffield. And let's just see how he does this. So he's going around in 4th, dropping it down to 3rd, so maybe a gear lower than what you'd be doing in the dry. That's another thing for the drivers as well, learning the gears. Okay, these guys are good. They're pretty much used to the gears around here, and it's not too different in the wet. But yeah, slower corners, you might need to be just cautious of your gear because you don't want to be revving too much and spinning around, because that's going to ruin your qualifying. And if you're doing it in the race, well, it's going to be even worse. You're going to be ruining your race.
Yes, and Sly Tycoon there just riding aboard with him. He's on his outlap, but he's invalidated it for good measure. But Dino, podium sitter last time, finds himself quite low down in the championship standings. But with a performance like that, we hope to see an improvement, Fozzy.
Yeah, I was just looking what that yellow flag was in sector 3. Bob in the Renault seemed to have spun on the final corner around Club. I don't know if he was on an outlap or if he was on a flyer. I believe he was about to start his flying lap, but that chance would have been ruined at the moment. Now, as he's just gone round again, he's just gone round, and yeah, okay, obviously some of the drivers struggling a little bit here in the wet.
Yeah, that's going to be a wing change. Oh, those poor Enzo-based mechanics. They don't get a break, do they, with the Renault team? But the 99 car there, losing a little bit of aero. And the Alfa Romeo driver trying to guide his way around the instant Gaudio, setting a purple sector there. But it's Jay Deasy with a 139.9, just below the 140s. All purple sectors, the Williams.
Yeah, Bob's only trying to make his way back out onto the track now, but there are a lot of cars going as well. There's like a Keiran in the, the now Aston Martin, but Racing Point here seems to be getting a little bit slidey on the entrance to Aintree. Looks like Bob's got himself going again now. Drivers don't want to be ruining these laps because it is only a short qualifying, so there's limited time to get a good lap in here. At the moment, 4 times on the board. Danza, 5 times on board. Danza P1, Dino J, Typhoon and Peter Parker, the remaining 4. As we start to get a few more times coming on the board now. Brownie up there in P3 at the moment with a 139.7. And well, as I keep reading through these, more keep coming up on the left of your screen here. But I expect a lot of these times to change over the next 10 minutes or so. So yeah, there we go. Gaudio taking the top position with a 138.9. We're into the 138s now. Do you think, Cameron, that we're going to be getting into the 137s in this session?
It's a lot to ask for. I'm not a quick driver, so this is beyond me, as we are already. But we should expect them to at least push it. Maybe the mid 138s. Let's see how it's going. Track condition, to me, it looks like it's stabilised, although Akira has something else to say there, looking on his onboard. Horrible condition. Oh, big lockup for the Racing Point driver there as he goes into the penultimate section of corners. So yeah, I don't know. 138.5s. I'm not a driver in there. I like to pretend I am, but my lap times say otherwise. Your signs on an outlap?
Yeah, it's riding on board with Akira as he navigates his way around. I don't know about you, but it looks like that rain has got a lot heavier. Visibility, to me, I think, has reduced a little bit as we see Akira locking up again once more. So hopefully this rain won't be here throughout the race, but it's definitely going to hamper the qualifying laps of all of these drivers. So it could be a very mixed up grid for anyone to take pole position here, but at the moment it's Gaudio who remains P1.
Oh, as a Renault driver who might be Bob. Yeah, just coming around, going almost into the pit straight there. I think he spun, trying to get on the brakes. He boxes now. I can't see any wing damage, but we can't be too sure. But at the moment, with just under 11 minutes to go, Gaudio on top of the timing screen with a 1:38.931. Just behind him is a 1:39.1 for Danza in the Mercedes. Gaudio, he's got an outside chance at the championship. We can't rule him out just yet. This could be exactly what he needs.
It could be. I was just right. Could be even. I was just riding on board with Dave through the final sector 3 there, and yeah, just looking at the revs, he is very nearly losing it as he comes through farm. But his revs were so high, you can just hear the wheel spin. You can see that it's just so treacherous out there. Tire temperatures are going to be low, the grip is going to be low, and for some people, if they haven't got much practice in the rain, the confidence might be low as well. But just to point out, the McLarens P3 and 4 at the moment, so that's quite good for them. They'd be happy with them as a team. Unfortunately, O'Dave has invalidated this lap now, though. So not probably what he was looking for. But yeah, all but 4 drivers have got a time on the board at the moment. Jos Heinze, Amir, Bob, and Bunty all missing a time. It's just under 10 minutes to go, so hopefully we'll get one up there shortly.
Yes, and you mentioned McLaren. They've actually had a pretty good round at the United States of America. They jumped from 10th in the constructors down up to 8th, so 2 positions gained. So positive swing of momentum for them.
Yep, MJ Coops just spun through Woodcote. He's got a time on the board at the moment. He's P15 with a 1:43.4. He's going to want to improve that though, and spinning like that isn't quite going to help, if I'm honest. So he should have enough time to at least get another 2 flying laps in. As we see some of the drivers who've already got a fairly confident time going out for another run. Brownie's on an out lap right now. So, yeah, Coop's not going to be wanting to be spinning like that too much more. He's going to want to be further than 15th.
Yeah, further than 15th is ideal. Ideally, you want pole, but you can't have everything in this world. TS Bunty, he's one of my drivers I put about on, just doing very well, really, getting solid points each round. At the moment, he finds himself P14th. A bit of room to work with if that's where he qualifies on the grid, but we'll see what he can do. With rain, it mixes up the grid quite well. And Amir down in 17th. Not good for Amir.
Yeah, he's just on an out lap at the moment, so what we'll do is we'll ride on board with him for his flying lap and see how he does as he tries to get a time on the board. Look at the visibility. You can hardly see the Silverstone building as he goes around Stowe there. But anyway, slowly, cautiously, 4th gear to keep the revs low as he makes his way through club. Onto the newly named Hamilton Straight for a flying lap. So let's see how he does on this one. 6th gear, 7th gear. He's building up the speed, but he's going to need to be cautious as he takes the first very quick right-hander into Abbey. Quick swing it left through farm, staying on that dry patch and trying not to lock up. 50-meter board for the braking zone. Hitting the apex, he does that very nicely. Slowly but cautiously once again into through village and through loop, and now you need to be very cautious on the power here. He's got a bit of traffic in front, which he might be able to get a slip off, but he's gone through Aintree quite nicely. That's Farnham getting out of the way in the racing point. We're still on track for a good lap here from Amir because he hasn't disqualified it just yet, and he hasn't spun around. Same can't be said for some of his competitors as well. But anyway, cautiously into the Brooklands complex, going a little bit wide off the racing line there, onto that wet part of the track as he makes his way through Luffield. But again, onto the power, still got a valid lap, so it's looking good. A couple of cars are ahead of him, but that's the McLaren in the racing point. They're just going around Cops at the moment, so they are a few seconds ahead. He's still doing good, 7th gear, so having to lift quite a bit more than you would in the dry as you go around Cops. You've got to be careful here through Maggots and Beckett's as well. He's hit the apex there quite nicely, not cut it too much. 6th gear, is he going to go down to 5th? Yes, he is. Again, very tentative through there. Try not to get onto the dirt too much. So remember, no DRS to help with your laps here. Going onto the very wet part of the track there. That traffic's still up ahead of him, but quite a bit underway. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 around the village area. That's not going to impact this lap too much. He's trying to keep it in the track limits. He's just about done it. Only a few more corners to go now, making his way down through Vale. Tight left-hander into Club. 4th gear once again as we saw at the start of the lap. He might be able to get a bit of slipstream off Slide Tycoon here, but let's see what time he gets as he crosses the line. He might not be too happy with that. Only P13 for him here, bottom half of the grid. Cameron.
Yeah, so the man who qualified on the front row last week at the moment, not looking that particularly great. It's almost like the weather conditions, stormy and grey. He's just catching Slide Tycoon there. I mean, this could be a cool-down lap. He's certainly not going for another flyer. See who else is going for
gone wide.
Oh, that's a Keiran in the racing point. He's keeping it going. Obviously, invalidated his lap time. Oh, he's revving very high in 3rd gear. Very high indeed.
We say Amir's not going for a flying lap. He has just got a purple sector 1, so we'll stay with this for the rest of the lap just to see if he manages to get any further progress. A bit up from that P13. He's got a train of cars behind him at the moment. This looks like a spin of a McLaren. Cameron, have you got that on your end?
There is a spin
like
of a McLaren, yes. Is it? I think it might have been a Slide Tycoon, possibly.
Yep, Slide Tycoon. He seems to have got it going again now down the old pit straight, but it looked like he might have just been a little bit too heavy on the power coming out of Woodcote. I believe he was on a flying lap as well, because it doesn't say on our timing screen, but he's on an out lap, so he's not going to be too happy with that. But what he might be happy with is the fact he is still P3 and seems to be comfortably staying there for now.
Yeah, we just had another purple sector from Amir, but that was quickly taken away by another driver. I don't know who it is yet, but we're going to find out shortly as Amir rounds the final couple of corners. Treacherous on the throttle. You don't want to dump it. You can see the car just turning slightly more than you want it to. Ride the curb. Use its curb, and it is pole. Provisional pole for Amir. 1:38.899. Is that going to be good enough? We got 4 minutes, 35 seconds to find out. Fozzy, that was a good lap, wasn't it?
It was, and Gaudio was happy with his place earlier, so was Amir, but look, it's Typhoon on the top now. The Renault has taken it away from the Red Bull. Yeah, I was just looking at Gaudio. He did spin a little bit through Village around Sector 1, so yeah, if he was trying to extend his time at the top of the timing sheets, well, that's not going to be happening much more after that spin. But yeah, I didn't quite catch much of a lap from Typhoon. I assume it was good because he's on pole position.
Exactly.
So whether he can carry that momentum into the race, that would be fantastic. The same can't be said for his teammate Bob down in P17 and now in the pits. It's not been the best of sessions for his teammate. I've seen him spin a few times. Hopefully he can redeem himself in the race. But yeah, the Renault's sort of bookending the rest of the grid here.
Yeah, so it's normally 60% full throttle in the dry, or just over 60%. I don't know what they're doing now, but I can guarantee you it is at 60%. Whoa, as Typhoon going around cops, just gets it a little bit out of shape. His lap isn't already invalidated, but that'll be there at the edge of my seat as we go through Maggots and Beckett's. It's a scary ride in the dry, and it's even worse in the wet.
Yes, it is. And there seems to be a bit of jumping around from him as well. I assume we're going to blame that on the network stream. But yeah, yellow flags all over the place. There's one around Sector 1 again. You mentioned 60% throttle in the dry. I think for some of these drivers, unfortunately, it's been 60% of the time in reverse, trying to get themselves off of the grass, because it hasn't been the best for some of the drivers, as we say. I said I was expecting good stuff from Jos Hansi, and look, what are you doing now in P16? Come on, you got to impress us to see what you can do. I've just seen Typhoon as well go into the back of the Ferrari, and I've also seen Cameron Danza make his way to the top of the time.
Yep, and he's also making his way into the barrier, sliding around. Wow, just out of the loop section. He was happy with his time, but he doesn't want to do another one. Clearly, he's sit off, and he's just getting back on track now. You have little faith about Jos, Fozzy. I've still got faith for him. I'm sure he'll come good in the race.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's hiding something up his sleeve. He had a good race. Well, a good few races for over the past few rounds, so I'm sure he will redeem himself once more come the race. But yeah, I think Danza was just celebrating, I think we'd like to call that. Celebrating with a few donuts, as Dino tops the, goes to P2 in the timing sheet there, with a 1:38.6. So Gaudio, who about 5 minutes ago was at the top of the grid, is now P5.
Yeah,
so it just shows how quickly things can change, especially when there's rain on the grid, Cameron.
Exactly, Fozzy. It's quite a gap as well. Almost 5 tenths between the two. I think Typhoon has had enough as well, and it looks like he's off for the day. That's the best he's going to get is P3. That's for his sake. Hope against that. But yeah, so we got 1:38.1 from Danza, a 1:38.6 from Dino. Can Dino improve, or is this Danza's time to shine on top of the timing tower?
Well, there's just over a minute and a half remaining, so those who are on flying laps now will obviously get those done, and there might be enough time for some others to start one. But yeah, it's been quite a good qualifying. I think the rain has definitely tried some of the drivers and got them to where they can. As Gaudio makes his way back up to P2, very good lap from him in the Alfa Romeo. As he sort of Tokyo drifted through Sector 1, a little bit more for my comfort. I wouldn't be doing it that much. You're going to land yourself in the barrier. But yeah, it's a very good lap from Danza. I'm impressed by that. A 1:38.1, like you say, it's quite a big gap. Not as big as it was a minute ago, as he decides to head back to his yacht. The yacht you'll easily be able to sail around this track in the rain. But yeah, Danza on P1 at the moment. That's him done for the session. Gaudio P2 and Dino P3. That's how we look at the moment. Amir's wanting to take his redemption. He's on another outlap.
Yeah, so Dino, he was 8 seconds up on his delta. I thought he was going to go for another lap. He had 30 seconds to go. He would have got around the timing line, but it looks like it's out to Amir to get a good lap. But at the moment, Danza on provisional pole. You've got to say, he looks quite safe. And with 20 seconds to go, whoa, Gaudio running wide around, that must be cops there. That was terrifying.
Amir's really got to push. He's on an outlap and he's got 12 seconds to go as he comes around Stowe now. I don't know if he's going to get this in time to get another flying lap in. So it's going to be, I think, yes, he's still got club and a few other ones to go. It's going to be P6 for Amir. He's not going to get that flying lap in that he wanted, but Keiran has done very good to get up into P4, a 1:38.796.
Brilliant job from Keiran there, the Alfa Romeo driver. Wow. Oh, Josh Heinze. Ye have faith, Fozzy. Josh Heinze, front row so far. 1:38.188. Gaudio, let's see what he can do to match it. He comes, drifting across the line. Can't improve. It's P3 for Gaudio. And Keiran up to P5 with that marvellous lap. Amir, P7, TS Bunty, P8, P9 for MJQ. Getting ahead of myself here. Yay, Diesel. He's on a lap. Can he improve from P10 to move up the grid in that lovely Williams livery? We're about to find out soon. He comes around. That must be turn 16 through 17. Roll the power on nicely. I said nicely, Jay. Here we go. Can he improve? We're about to find out. No, he can't. He can't improve. Dejan Lasik next, the Ferrari driver, coming fast. Just leaving Maggots and Beckett's section into Sector 3. We've had a yellow flag. I believe that might be an Alfa Romeo driver.
Yeah, it was Keiran. It was Keiran. He lost it through Maggots and Beckett's. So he's going to be happy with P5, but he would have loved to attempt to try and get a little bit further, maybe onto the front or second row of the grid. But P5 at the moment is how it's going to have to be for Keiran. Let's ride on board with Dejan Lezic as he comes around the final corner now. Is he going to be able to improve on P11? He's got a 1:39.3 at the moment. He remains on a 1:39.3. We'll ride on board with Farnham in the racing point. Is he going to improve from P14? It's 1:39.9 and it's down to 1:38.9. P8 for Farnham. Let's see if the Red Bull of Amir is... Well, he's not on a flying lap, so I doubt he's going to be doing much more from there. And I think that's all of our drivers done on their flying laps now. So top 5 is Danza, Jos Heinze, Gaudio, Dino and Keiran. This, Cameron, is going to be a very exciting race.
It will be indeed. Sorry, it caught me off guard there. I was drinking my water thinking Fozzy's got this. And there I am being called out. Yeah, that was one hell of a qualifying. The wet weather, we're getting used to it now. It brings out the best of these drivers. There is the classification for one-shot qualifying. Mercedes on the front row. Who would have thought? But there we go. Haas, P2. Look at that. So almost 700ths behind. That's close. Well, Fozzy, we've had qualifying. Next, we've got around about quite a few laps. Who do you think is going to come out on top?
Oh... Very, very good question. That performance there from Danza was very good. We've seen in 2 of the past 3 races he's been second. Can he make this race a first position? Well, I have all the faith that he can, starting from the front row. Jos Heinze, well, I'm going to continue my faith in you, good sir in the Haas. Let's see what you can do. But all of our drivers, I'm rooting for all of them. Excited to see what we get here. Hopefully, not a wet race. If it's dry, then we're going to be in for a very, very entertaining race around Silverstone.
Well, unfortunately, your hopes have been dashed there, Fozzy. We are starting off with a little bit of rain, and we'll see if we get a bit of the sun out. It's rare to see the sun in the United Kingdom, although saying that, it's quite warm in this room, so maybe I need to go out there in the rain. Wow, wow, wow! I just can't go over that qualifying. That was insane. So yeah, 26 laps around here, and if it was a dry race, it would have been a soft to medium strategy we're expecting. But that goes out the window. I think it's inters. It looks intermediate. I wouldn't say it's full wets, but we'll find out on the formation lap shortly, Fozzy. Wow.
Yeah, this is actually, believe it or not, the hottest day of the year in the UK. This is summer for us. Actually, we're gonna get the formation lap underway now. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we've got here. It looks like you say most of our drivers are on the intermediate compounds. I'm not too sure what the weather's going to be doing throughout the race. Maybe we might have a bit of a mixed up strategy like last time. It might be getting better. It might be getting worse.
Well, weatherman Cameron here, according to my timing software, it's wet throughout. So these conditions are going to be fun. Could you take these inters to the end? Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to. Surely it's going to be a two-stop. We'll see. We'll see. There'll be a safety car, no doubt. We've had one in the United States. I'm sure we'll get one in Britain. It spices up the pack, and as Danza leads the pack around Silverstone. It's nice to see fans there, albeit virtual. And if you are watching, be sure to say hi. You can find all the socials in the description and where to follow Invictus Racing League and find out about like stewards' findings, etc., which could potentially change the order of things after the race. But yeah, Danza, the man with a plan, I hope. He's got to lead this pack away. Jos, he's pretty quick. So, TS Bunty, P8, at the moment, he's fulfilling his run of consistent point scoring. Amir in the Red Bull down in 6th. P2 last week. Let's see what he can do about that. And then Slight Tycoon, the McLaren in 18th. And as you can tell, we've only got 18 drivers this evening, but that shouldn't matter. We see them warming up the tyres now. And Fozzy, this is quite a crucial part of the race. Take us through what you need to do in a formation lap, just quickly.
Yeah, you want to be making sure your brakes and tyres are up to temperature, and especially when it's going to be a cold track like this. If your tyres are going to be too cold, you're not going to have the grip. Obviously, you don't want them to be too warm as well, because that's going to ruin your getaway as well. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting getaway. Drivers really need to be careful with the throttle here, not getting too much wheel spin. Make sure they're getting the right amount of grip. It's not a very long run down into turn 1, and it's quite a tight pack by the time they get there as well. So this could be quite an exciting start. Well, no, I'm going to have faith. It will be a very exciting start, and it will be a very exciting race. But we're going to see the cars start to get up onto the grid now. Look at that. Like you say, a Haas on the front row. Cherish this moment because it might not happen in the real world all too often. But yeah, here we go then. It's the IRL round 8. It's time for Silverstone.
Indeed, as they line up on the Hamilton straight. Wow, this will be one to watch, folks. Stay here for the next 45 minutes. Here we go then. 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're away for 26 laps here in Silverstone. It's a potential slow start there for the Mercedes driver going wide. Oh, is that a Haas up the inside? Yes, it is. Jos Heinze dropping down to 3rd. Gaudio up to 2nd. Danza still leading. I don't think there's been a turn 1 incident, but there's still time yet. Oh, the Mercedes going through the Red Bull there. Amir up to P4. Going on the inside there of Gaudio through the loop. The McLaren being pushed wide, but it's still Danza who leads. Jos Heinze to 3rd, battling with the Red Bull. It's side to side. Wow, look at that. That is brilliant. The Red Bull, they're darting down the inside as they come into this tight, twisty section. The Red Bull, they're just keeping his position. Jos Heinze is having to fight for it. Well, this is brilliant. The 19 car. Is he going to be able to get through? Wow, look at that. Amir, they're having to run wide on the exit curb, almost in the gravel, Fozzy.
Yeah, fantastic start for Danza. He's going to be really happy. Look at that, 6 tenths of the lead he's got already. I'm surprised no turn 1 incident. I said it was going to be tight around there. It certainly was, but no one's gone off, which I'm surprised about in the rain. But yeah, Danza, nearly 7 tenths of a lead on Gaudio now. Amir's sort of dropping back a little bit from Jos Heinze, who has dropped a position from the start of the race. But there was a big fight, like you saw, between Amir and Jos Heinze. Very impressed with how they've managed to keep that together. Bob, though, down the back of the grid. He's not going to be happy back there. I saw he was struggling a little bit, but he's going to be keeping up with everybody else now, so that should be quite good.
Yeah, Sly Tycoon there. Another move. The McLaren is making moves in Silverstone. It's only that one. Wow, going down the inside, battling with the Racing Point car. Is he going to the left? Yes, he is. Can he get him on braking? He's going to have to back out of that. We saw there, it looks like a one-stop strategy. Lap 17, roughly, for boxing. And, yeah, it is Danzo who leads by 7 tenths. O'Dave and Sly Tycoon battling it once again as we go on to lap 2, I believe. It can't be lap 3 already. Surely not. There we go. Look at that. O'Dave and O'Bob. Oh, it's Keiran and Amir. The Alfa Romeo versus the Red Bull. The Red Bull's been caught off guard there. Is he going to get a better run out of the loop? No, he isn't. Instead, he's falling back into Dino, the McLaren driver, chasing onto the gearbox of the Red Bull driver. McLaren v Red Bull. Wow, it's something we'd love to see in real life, but we're seeing it here. The timing tables having a little bit of a tango there, but don't worry, it's fine. I'm sure it isn't this chaotic, but it's getting close, Fozzy.
It is getting close, and it's staying close as well. The pack's still quite bunched up. Nobody's able to get a really good drive away from everybody else in the rain, apart from the top 4, who seem to be going quite nicely. Danza, well, he's 7 tenths now. She's gained a 10th over that past few laps over Gaudio, who is, again, at 7 tenths ahead of Jos Heinze. Now, let's make sure none of them spin through Max and Beckett. You don't want to be losing your race on lap 3 or 2. We're not too sure what it is, Cameron.
Yeah, sorry, just watching Amir, the man who's qualified slightly. Oh, he's been slightly pushed by the Renault there, going side by side with TS Bunty through Maggots and Beckett's. Wow, you've got to have balls to do that. Fozzy.
Yeah, Typhoon's on the grass. It's a bit of fighting between Jay there and Farnham as well. I think everyone's just a little bit too close for comfort in the rain. I really thought somebody was going to lose it there. All cars still have 4 wheels at the moment. Same could be said for Mazepin at this weekend's Bahrain Grand Prix. Look at this, though. We've got Peter Parker trying to go around the outside, trying to get them points. Amir has dived into the pitch. Had he got any damage? I hadn't seen any, but he might have lost an end plate.
Yeah, but these two are going to lose something else in a minute. Look at that. The Williams and the Renault fighting down the Hamilton straight. That's scary. Wow, wheel to wheel, touching sidewalls. They've slightly backed out of it now, but it is feisty, and they are ready to take positions as we see Dejan Lasik trying around the outside. Can he get the job done? No, he can't, but the Haas going for a dive bomb. MJQ there. He's slowed down, though. It's still going to be Dejan Lasik's position in P11, but the fight for the bottom of the points is on, and the fight for the top of the points is on as well, as Jos Heinze, 5 tenths, decreasing, catching up to Gaudio. Fozzy.
Yeah, Brownie going around the outside through Luffield of the Haas of MJQ. They're fighting wheel to wheel. It looks like the Red Bulls come off slightly better than that. His next target heads to Ferrari. Let's see if he can catch them. It's a good drive out of the Brooklands and Luffield complex. He's going high on the energy. He's about 80% at the moment, deploying what he can down towards Cops as Dejan Leslie and Typhoon go side by side through Cops, and it's Dejan Leslie who comes off at best from that one, it seems. Wow, this is good. No, they're still going. They are still going. Who's going to come off best? It's the Renault of Typhoon, finding his way through Maggots and Beckett. You don't normally see this as no taking position, but they're doing it well. These are good drivers. No contact, well, nothing major. This is great racing in the opening laps here at Silverstone. We're still apparently on lap 3.
Yeah, I don't mind if this race carries on longer the way it is now, though. Farnham, whoa, I just saw a car go flying in the background. I think it's okay. Farnham, P7, catching up to TS Bunty, the number 88 Ferrari, the Scarlet Red Ferrari, being chased by the Pink Panther.
Red Bull's round. Red Bull of Brownie's round, and so is MJ Coupe. A bit of a moment there as they make their way down into Vale. Just a little bit too late on the brakes was MJ Coupe, spinning Brownie round. He's got himself going again, but yeah, that's not going to be good for him as we see another battle going between Sly Tycoon, and Akiro. There's contact between Dave and Akiro there. I don't quite know where Dave came from as I was on board with the Racing Point. This pack is tight. There's going to be contact as we're seeing. Well, let's hope that nobody has too much contact, that results in a unwanted pit stop, a bit like Amir, who's got a bit of a catch-up job to do now, as Bob has spun around. It's Bob who's around at Aintree in the Renault. It's not been the best race for him so far, starting near the back of the grid. Finds himself in P17, somewhere he was quite familiar with when it was a qualifying session earlier on. Let's go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. How's Danza looking? Well, in a very good position. 2.5 seconds almost in front of his nearest competitor, Gaudio, as they made their way through Maggots and Beckett right now. It's Jos who's trying to catch up to the Alfa Romeo in P2. 0.5 seconds behind. He's going to be trying to use whatever energy he's got to try and catch up and get another step on the podium. How's Gaudio's teammate doing? Well, Creon's got an MP4, and it's Typhoon who gets the first penalty of the session. It's a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings for the Renault.
Yeah, Typhoon having a slight name change, but we'll just call him Typhoon for now. He went from Ozone to AFP. That hasn't happened with the penalties, though. But Jos Heinze, 6 temps. Dirty air's a factor. And in the wet, I wouldn't want to be particularly close, although that is racing at the end of the day, I suppose. But there we go. TCSR, Farnham, and TS Bunty. Many T's going on there. Battling for P6. Further down the back of the grid, you've got Dejan Lasik still battling for P10, potentially with Typhoon. And then we've got Akiro into the pits.
Yeah, Amir's got another penalty. Well, I say another penalty, as in he's got his first penalty. Not been the best for him so far, down in P18. But he has boxed once, and he's only 10 seconds behind P17. So he's making ground quite nicely, probably assisted by the spin of the Renault. But yeah, it'd be good to see where he ends up with and see if his strategy can play off quite nicely. The bike is starting to spread itself out a little bit now. We've got a few little fights going on here and there, especially around the Luffield section where most of the cars are at the moment.
Yes, Dino there catching up to Keiran slightly around Luffield. That delta is changing, but oh wow, he ain't far off. I'll give him that one. That's a corner, isn't it? I mean, do you take it flat in the wet? I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. Not on high fuel. But hopefully we'll see that later. Lap 5 of 26. The battling is still going on, albeit slightly separated, as we've got Typhoon 3 temps behind Pizza Parker. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Not an overtaking position, but we've seen that being disproved so far this race. Will it be disproved again? No, it isn't. He's running wide through Chapel. Oh, that's going to cost him.
Yeah, going to cost him, especially down the straight here. Obviously, you got no DRS at the moment, I don't believe. Not in these wet conditions. So it's all down to driver skill and a little bit of ERS to assist with this. But yeah, a lot of the drivers going a little bit wide. We won't talk about track limits too much. A little bit too safe from the weekend just gone, as MJ Cube gets a 3-second time penalty down there in P15 in the Haas at the moment. Yeah, so some of the drivers, like I say, going wide, trying to keep to the track as much as they can, because that's where the grip is, and there isn't much grip anywhere else, especially in the rain. Danza very happy and comfortable up in front now, 3.2 seconds ahead of Gaudio. Be interesting to see how much further he can pull ahead. And to be honest, that top three, as a little pack, have pulled away quite well. The difference between P3 and P4, 4.5 seconds, so quite a nice gap building there. I seem to have a bit of a gap from P9 between P8 as well. The two Williams are having a bit of a gap between each other there. Peter Parker 4.1 seconds behind his teammates. So this pack starting to split up a little bit now. I'm surprised, Cameron, that we've not actually had much of anything in terms of VSCs or indeed full SCs.
I have a theory. I reckon the race controller are too busy, out there on the balcony watching rather than doing their job. But we don't mind that. It's nice to see some flat-out racing. It's quite nice to see the cars going almost full speed, admittedly a little bit slow at the moment. Someone who isn't going that slow, though, is Jos Heinze. Still catching to Gally. I wonder if they are working together. Like, at this early stage, you want to build a gap just in case you have a spin, etc., and just for a competitive advantage. He doesn't seem to be trying to make Gaudy go defensive. They seem to be working together. So I'd expect them to continue working together until the latter stages of the race. Farnham in P7, the Racing Point, catching Bunty slowly. I mean, again, that gap has maintained distance for a couple of laps, but we'll see any moves coming shortly. Side Tycoon, though, down in 13th. If he can get a good run out of this corner, he might just be able to get onto the gearbox of Brownie JV in that Red Bull. I don't think he's going to be able to. Not through the Hamilton straight, that is. And, yeah, O'Dave does get a penalty. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. And we have a yellow flag, Sector 2, Sector 3. I think that's Akiro, is it not?
Yep, it's Akiro. He's lost it through Chapel. And not the best for him. It's one of those corners, the Maggots Beckett's Chapel complex, where you really need to be getting your line right. If you go slightly off, a little bit onto the grass, or you're just steering too much, you're going to lose control of a car, especially in these conditions where tyre temperatures are a little bit more funky than what you might normally see in a standard race in dry weather. So yeah, he's staying out of pits, so he obviously hasn't got much damage at the moment. But yeah, that's going to not help him. Down in P18 and 29 seconds behind Amir.
Yeah, and we saw a move there by MJQ, I believe, on O'Dave. Moving to P14. Dejan Lasik in the Ferrari driver. There it is, folks. In the Ferrari car, the scarlet red car. Going to be getting all mucky, I think, today, but I don't mind that. Slowly but surely, catching on to Typhoon. There's a bit of a performance gap between the two. One's in P11 and one's in P6. So hopefully we'll see that change over time. Jos Heinze, again, just working with Gaudio. But Danza here, leading a very smart race. I don't think he's actually pushing that much. I don't know whether you've been watching his ERS deployment. I just think he's just playing safe. You know, no point trying to go for those fastest laps if it's going to end up ruining your race at lap 8.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm interested to see which drivers are going to be making it a 1-stop and which are going to be making it a 2-stop. I think, based on Jos Heinze at the moment, he's locking up into every corner, so it might be a 17-stop if his tyres get any worse, but I don't think he's the only driver to be locking up. I've been riding on board with quite a few drivers. I won't name all of them because I'd be naming half the grid. But yeah, quite a few lockups from everybody. So it evens out when most of the grid are doing it. But you're going to be wanting to try and preserve your tyre life as much as you can. Because, well, the grip's just going to be so low. You don't want to be having really poor quality tyres. It's not going to help. It's really not going to help. And I've been continuing to ride on board here with Jos. He's dropped back a couple of attempts from Gaudio. I thought there was going to be a move into Vale and Club on the previous lap, but it wasn't able to pull off. He's gaining and gaining and gaining on Gaudio, though, so maybe towards the end of the Hanger Straight, we might see a move start to play off towards the final stages of this particular lap. But it's Danza who's, well, way off into the distance and into the mist, which we cannot see him at the moment. He's that far ahead. He's in a fairly comfortable position, though, so he's going to be playing his own strategy, thinking in his mind how he's going to be playing the game.
Yeah, Slight Tycoon there, just getting a penalty as well. Perfect timing. Not really for him, but for me it was. But catching up to Brownie, that Red Bull does seem quite compromised. Red Bull having a bit of a shocker of a race. Here we go. There might be a move here into... No, there isn't. Nah, he's backing out, surely. Surely he's going to back out through there. I think he is going to hug the curb a little bit more. I just saw those time doubters coming down. I wonder if Amir's got... Brownie's got a bit of wing damage. Oh, lock up on the brakes. He's lucky not to send his competitor into the gravel. Oh, Brownie getting all out of shape. He's right aboard the low rear wing angle. It's going to be close coming through the Hamilton straight. Wow, indeed. There's still battles going on. There might not be a battle for the lead, but there's a battle for P13. And in fact, going up to P3, what's this? This is a battle for P2 going on here. Jos Heinze catching up to Gaudio. That dropped down to just a 10th there. We might see a bit of feistiness coming out there, taking a slightly shorter route, and Gaudio running slightly wider. Go on. Give us a bit of a battle, guys. Come on. You know you want to.
Let's see what we can do. It was a great performance by Jos in qualifying to get it onto the front row of the grid. Let's see if he can retake that position of P2 as we make our way for the third time on board through the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Jos can sense P2. He can smell it, he can see it, and he knows it's within touching distance. He just needs to be able to find the traction out of some of these corners. That's where he's been losing time. He's been great on the straights. He's got his energy deployment bang on. He's been getting a slipstream, as we can see here. But as soon as it comes to the exit of some corners, he just can't get the power down in a good enough way that doesn't make him wheel spin. So that's where he really needs to be a little bit more cautious to applying the throttle. But yeah, he's going to be making a move, I'm pretty sure, in the next few laps. He's eyeing up Gaudio, and it won't be long until I think we might see a position switch between these two.
Yes, I'm sure he would like it very much. We're just running on board with Dino in the McLaren. We're getting to lap 10 now. The tyres will start to fade off. Surely we're going to see a couple boxing... What are these words? A couple pit stops in the next couple rounds. Wow! Oh, I tell you what, Fozzy, you take over.
I'm pretty sure...
I'll have a drink.
I'm pretty sure we will see a few pit stops over the next few rounds due to regulations. But yeah, Sly Tycoon is really trying to catch up with Brownie now. He's been eyeing him up a little bit more. We saw a few laps ago he was trying to make a move. Brownie's going a little bit wide on some of these corners. I noticed through Stowe he was a little bit wide, and a few laps ago Sly Tycoon was trying to not just fight for position but also fight for traction as he goes right up into the gearbox of Brownie. Is he going to be able to get a good drive out of here? We have a yellow flag in sector 3.
It's Bob.
I think that might have been Bob. It's Bob. Not the first time he's been round in this session today, and well, based on his performance in qualifying, it probably won't be the last as well, as he goes very slowly through the Abbey complex.
The worst part is he spun just after the pit entry. Or just on the pit straight, which means he's going to have to do an entire lap slogging that bus around, essentially. That's what that becomes at the moment. It becomes the Endstone bus. Quite a nice looking bus, I must say. But Dejan Lazik, 4 attempts, 2 attempts now. Oh, this might be a move on Typhoon here. Oh, No, it isn't. Not yet. Catching up onto the gearbox. It's not going to be long, though. If he gets a good run out of here, surely he's on for a pass down the hangar straight. 4th, 5th, 6th. Overtake on. We're going for it, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be a ride catching up to the gearbox Typhoon. Typhoon must be also burning energy because he's not actually gaining that much. Wow. Wow. I thought we were on for something there.
Yeah, this fight's been fantastic. It's been going on for a few laps now as some drivers get a little bit funky out of stow there. Fine for traction is Sly Tycoon. Very nearly goes into the side of Brownie. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2, but that's become green now. It wouldn't be the first time Brownie's been spun around as Sly Tycoon gets it all wrong. Onto the Hamilton straight there. That drops him back a few tenths of a second. Will he be able to make a move into some of the next corners? I don't know. Somebody who might be able to is MJ Coop. He's right behind Sly Tycoon as they fight over P13. Let's see if any of these drivers can make a move on this lap around. They've been eyeing it up for the past few laps. Let's see what can happen here. Sly Tycoon looking at the Red Bull. The Haas looking at the McLaren. Who's going to make the move first? Well, the move was nearly off the track there. MJ Coop as he gets all squiggly and struggles to find a traction there. A little bit too heavy on the throttle. Maybe a little bit too early on the energy deployment as well. That drops him over a second behind the fighting McLaren. Cameron.
Yeah, sorry, that fighting McLaren was getting a bit scary on the brakes. Just missing the Red Bull driver. That would have cost him some time, having to slam on the brakes like that. But look at these cars coming down. You can hardly put another car in between them. They're so close as Bob goes into the pits, probably for a wing change, I'd imagine. But Brownie there, 4 tenths. You don't even have to measure it in tenths. Just you can see how the halo, just how close they are to each other. And yet no moves are being made. I'm just wondering if this is just playing into a long strategy to make the tyres last, maybe. I don't know, but someone who's not making them last is Brownie. Here we go. There we go. So
yep,
Brownie makes a move.
He was saving his ERS battery there. I was watching his onboard and I could see he was high. As soon as he came out of Chapel, it was go, go, go on the power. And he was straight down alongside the Ferrari there. So it's Brownie and the Red Bull up into P11. Ahead him Typhoon. The final points position. Let's see what fighting can happen there. Sly Tycoon decided now I'm going to get rid of these tyres, as is MJ Coop. It's a box for the McLaren and a box for the Haas. Let's see how it all turns out for them. Let's check in with the other Haas as well, of Jos, who is still trying to fight behind Gaudio. They don't seem to have moved from when we last looked at them. There's still the same gap between them, so I was expecting a move maybe to have come off over the past few laps, but they're still fighting. Jos is just making his move. He's burning that energy, so he's definitely trying to get on top of Gaudio as they make their way through Cops now. Are we going to see a move through or out of the Magnus and Beckett's complex onto the hangar straight? Well, the gap is closing and closing and closing. It's 3 tenths of a second now between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo. Jos has got about 60% energy, but he gets squiggly through Chapel. Is he going to be able to make a move? Well, he's that far back. He's burning the energy. He's straight up into 8th gear. I don't think this straight's long enough for a move to be made. Maybe in the dry it might have been, but no, you don't want to be risking anything around the outside or indeed the inside of Stowe. Not at these speeds and not in this weather as Gaudio dives into the pits now. That's going to bring Jos up into P2.
Yeah, Jos locking the brakes into that heavy braking zone. He's got a lot more energy than Gaudio. I'm wondering if he's going to try an overcut here, whilst Gaudio's going to attempt an undercut. The 4D game of chess has begun, and Jos gets another penalty, but it's Brownie on Typhoon there. He moves up to P10 as Gaudio starts falling down the order because of him in the being in the pits. It looks like they're all going on to Inter still. As you'd expect, it is quite treacherous conditions. But look at this, though, folks. Dejan Lazik still catching up onto AFP Typhoon. You can just see him massaging the wheel around the final corner through the Hamilton straight. Wow, indeed. And through Abbey and Farm. Down into Village.
It's going to be tight as Gaudio comes out of the pitch. Yep, it's going to be very, very tight. You don't want to be having contact there. Jay gets the 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So Gaudio's come out in P10. He's in a bit of traffic at the moment, though. That might hinder him a little bit. The gap between Jos and Dan at the moment, just under 5 seconds at 4.8. So what other fights have we got going on? Well, Dino is about 6 tenths behind Keiran, so maybe in a few laps we might be seeing a move come on there. But yeah, the main fights at the moment, Cameron?
Yep, Gaudio on Brownie there, just got him through Luffield, I believe. That was a beautifully timed overtake there. Brownie got a little bit squiggly, and Gaudio just massaged the car around. It's beautiful. They're driving like cruise ships, but that was beautiful indeed. As someone goes wide behind them, that might be Typhoon again, but it's Gaudio up to 9th on new rubber. And the race leader pits. So we'll see what happens here, folks. The strategy is at play. Dino also into the pits. So yeah, those guys that didn't box will now be boxing to try and match them on strategy. It's just mental seeing how close these cars are, and actually, to be fair, how little spins and incidents we've had. We only had a couple, and no safety car or VSC yet, Fozzy.
No, not yet, and I am surprised. I would have maybe expected one, as a Brownie, unfortunately, 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. That's not going to help his race in the slightest. We're seeing all the cars coming into the pits now as the pit window is open. Unsurprisingly, for most of the drivers, it is remaining on the green striped intermediate tyres by Pirelli. Nobody braving it in for the slick compounds yet. I don't think the weather's going to be clearing up enough for them slicks to make an appearance. But yes, Jos leads at the moment, having not boxed. At the moment, it is then TS Bunty in the Ferrari, Danza, Gaudio, and Dejan Lazic. That's the running order at the moment. As we see Pizza Parker diving into the pits as well. Brownie makes his way out into the pit. Is he going to be in traffic? It doesn't look so. He's got the hash of MJ Coupe a couple of seconds in front of him. As MJ Coupe and Sly Tycoon seem to be fighting a little bit as we go through loop. This is for track position. Let's see how these guys go. They're going to be going side by side through Aintree, and it appears to be, well, they're still side by side. They make their way down the Wellington Straight. Who's going to get it first? Well, it's Sly Tycoon who's ahead at the moment. Although MJ Coupe is about half a car length in front. By the time they get all the way round through Brooklands and into Luffield, it looks like MJ Coupe is falling back a little bit there. Sly Tycoon, takes the inside line, and he appears to be a whole car length ahead. No, make that half a car length as MJ Coupe makes his way down on the inside again towards Cops. Let's get the outside camera for this so I can see a bit better. MJ Coupe down the inside of Cops. He's a whole car length in front now. The McLaren down in P13, MJ Coupe in 12th. It's not for points, but it is for track position. That is a synonym for pride when it comes to these drivers. These guys want to be getting all the track position they can do, and that was some fantastic side-by-side racing by the two drivers there.
Indeed, indeed. In just normal conditions, that would be phenomenal, but that was gargantuan in these tricky, treacherous, wet conditions. Is Sly Tycoon wanting that position back, though? I'd say so. He seems to be chasing on to him, as we've got TS Bunty into the pits. Gaudio 6/10 behind Jos Heinze, not gaining massive amounts through the pit stop phase, but that should be all the pits done now, and we are over halfway through the race. But TS Bunty and Farnham fighting for it there as they go through turn 4, 5. Oh! I'm not too sure what happened there, but yellow flag sector 3. That is...
Yeah, I didn't go see what that was. The Renault of Sly Tycoon. I don't quite know what happened. I believe he was entering the pits and he might have made a mistake, but he's made it back to the pits now, so it's yellow flag for sector 3. I don't believe that's going to end up with any form of safety car, because I believe the main incident is confined to the pit lane. But yeah, I don't quite know what happened there. First retirement of the race goes to AFP Typhoon, so unfortunate for him. His teammate not doing a great deal better at the moment down in P18, so not really a race to shout home about for the Renault team. But who it is a race to shout home for. There's some words there, make your own sentence out of that one. Is for Danza, who is still comfortably 4.5 seconds in the lead, although locking up significantly into the final few corners there. A good thing for him as well, he has got the buffer of Jos's penalty as well, so as long as Danza doesn't get a penalty himself, he should have a pretty good amount of time behind him as he gets a fast lap of a 1:37.3 there. Those lap times will keep coming tumbling down as we go through the rest of the race. But yeah, locking up a lot there. He's not the only driver, like I've said. Got a few people doing that. Just point out the Alfa Romeos, how well they're doing as a team as well. Gaudio in P3 and Keiran in P5. So a very good race for them so far. As we have a yellow flag in sector 1, I believe that's the Renault of Bob.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I think what's happened there is... Oh, is he going for another one? No, he's got that going again. You know, it's difficult. Put the power down, put too much down on the loud pedal, and you find yourself facing the barrier, which isn't particularly great. What is great, though, is Tycoon and Brownie and MJ Coupe banning out still for P12. That is going around the loop. Oh, but a contact almost sends Coupe around. You wouldn't suspect that at those low speeds, but that that could have changed it phenomenally.
Yeah, it's given Brownie a really good opportunity here to get past Sly Tycoon as well. We're going to be going side by side into the Brooklands complex. Somebody has to jump out, and it was Brownie, although he's not done yet. He's going to try and go Brownie outside. No, he's not. He's going to switch back and try and go inside of Luffield. Is he going to be able to make a move? I don't quite think so just there. But yeah, that contact through the Aintree and Village complex really put Sly Tycoon on the back foot there. It allowed the Red Bull to really get a good drive and make the move, although he didn't fully manage to make it pull off, but he's hungry for more. He's going to be going for more. He's a Red Bull driver. Of course he's going to be going for more. Wow, this is some fantastic fighting between these drivers. Danza getting another fastest lap, a 1:36.9. Yeah, wow, this is amazing. All these drives would be fantastic if it was happening in the dry, but for it to be happening in the wet as well, and for it all to be so clean, wow, this is pretty exciting. Bob again dives into the pits. This Red Bull, it's not deploying energy, but he is eyeing up that move. Maybe he's going to be harvesting. Will we see a move on the next lap? Well, hopefully. Who's going to be making the move first? Will it be Sly Tycoon on MJ Coop, or will it be Brownie on Sly Tycoon? Either way, Sly Tycoon's probably going to be involved.
Yeah, Sly Tycoon is going to have to defend this one. And if you're Bob, you have retired from the session. Wow, coming through to turn 1. This is a beautiful corner there. Brownie, getting a little bit out of shape there, as you do have a yellow flag set to on because of that retirement. The gap seems to be increasing, though, between the Red Bull outfit and the McLaren driver. Sly Tycoon leading, in P13 by around 9/10. We don't have DRS. But still, that is quite a large amount for a slipstream on this game. 6/10 now. We do see it start to tumble down. Are we going to see a move? No, we're not. It's just too far behind and too little too late, unfortunately. If we go up to the top, Danza dominating by 4.7 seconds. And then Gaudio just behind Jos Heinze, who's in P2. So there's been a little bit of a battle there between... a massive lock-up for Danza. He's lucky not to have spun that there. Going through into turn 17, around turn 18, as he goes on to start lap 18. Lucky man indeed. Again, the battle won't not be heading at the front of the pack, but at the back it's still heating up. Brownie, the Red Bull driver, just getting on the exit out of Magnussen Beckett through Chapel, and it looks like Keiran and Dino have got up, as it looks like Dejan Lazik has boxed. That seems unscheduled to me. Might be a wing change, but Sly Tycoon in P13, Brownie in P14, and a 3-second time penalty for the Racing Point driver Akiro in 16th, aka last in this race, unfortunately for the Racing Point driver. Danza, I'm still amazed by just how well he's leading. And it's not a small gap either, it's a big gap. And if he can just keep that under control, surely he's on for a win here. Not that we like to spoil the fun just yet, but Brownie just catching the McLaren driver, who's then trying to also catch MJQ in the Haas. It hasn't gone particularly well for MJQ just yet, excuse the pun. We'll make it work as we come out of the loop section. Difficult to put the power down. We've seen a couple spins here. Churchy on the throttle, and he gets a 3-second time penalty for his efforts. Sly Tycoon and Fozzy.
Yeah, Jay's really starting to eye up Emir now. I thought it might have been a move down the Wellington straight, but it appears not to have happened just yet. But yeah, both the Williams behind this Red Bull now. Although a bit of a gap as we start to see that gap closing a little bit more down towards the Cops corner. Is Emir going to be able to defend quite nicely here? Well, Jay's only got a little bit of energy left, not too much. He's got about the same, actually, as Emir, but yeah, no DRS at the moment. So like I say, it's driver skill that determines the overtakes here, as Emir goes a little bit wide, nearly taking out the DRS sign. Cameron?
Dino and Keiran side by side heading in to turn 16. They made that somehow work around turn 15. Dino on Keiran. I don't know how they made room there, but they just did. The Alfa Romeo driver finds himself down in P5. Dino, P4. He's 10 seconds away from P3, but if he can make it 6, this is going to be a good result for him. Keiran, though, ever chasing that Alfa Romeo. The Italian outfit wants big points here, and they want to take it away from McLaren. Dino, though, just holding on to P4, and wow, indeed. With that was a move.
I didn't quite catch that move, but I'm sure it was absolutely phenomenal. All these drivers displaying fantastic skill levels this evening in a very, very rainy Silverstone. I'm excited to see how this one turns out. So as we usually sort of come to a bit of a lull, as we're about 2/3 of the way through the race, who would you say has impressed you the most so far? Who's been a standout driver for you? Who have you been really impressed with? And, well, I say, who are you expecting to win this race at this moment? But for me, it's got to be Danza. I suspect you might be the same.
Yeah, he hasn't got a penalty, has he? He's one of those drivers who's kept it clean, kept it going. But I tell you what, if I wanted to hedge my bets, let's say we get a safety car, hint, hint, please. You know, I'd like to make the race interesting. Then I reckon Jos might have a good shout. He's got that penalty though, so maybe Gaudio. It could be any of them. But Keiran, at the moment, wants P4 and he's still fighting for it. He's just under a second now. That is going to increase. But the battle between P9 and P8, Amir versus the Williams. He's got two Williams drivers behind him. Or admittedly, a bit of a gap between the Williams drivers. They're just not being able to catch enough here, really. But he's going to try as we come around Stowe. There we go in Sector 3. Oh, hugging the curb there. That's a risky move. God, I won't want to get too many wheels on that. You'll find yourself pointing backwards, trying to do the reverse layout. JCol, though, on the brakes. You can see those brake discs just glowing in these conditions. Absolutely stunning, that Williams livery. Can't say the same about this year's one, but never mind. Let's skip on about that. I'd like to get digging every race. But 9/10 between JCol and Amir. It's the battle for the low points, but it's still points on offer, folks. Still points in indeed as we come through this tight early on section around the loop. Oh, JCol lighting up the rears there. Someone thinks he's trying to be world champion already with those moves. That's close. He's close to losing that one. I'm sure he's okay, but no matter how late you are in the race, you've still got that in the back of your mind. Don't spin, basically. Don't spin. And a few drivers in the real life grid need to get that in the back of their mind as well. But Sly Tycoon on MJ Coon.
Oh, here's a move on Sly Tycoon. Yeah, on MJ Coon.
Through Luffield.
I thought it was going to be contact there.
The Haas are trying to make it work. The McLaren's trying to make it work. Two cars don't go into one there. But they tried to. They tried to indeed. Sly Tycoon still in P12. Ever chanting at the bit. Any opportunity he gets, he's going to take it. And he's going to try and run with it. The person running with it at the moment, though, is MJ Coon, P11. Outside the points. But he's close. There we go.
Very, very close. Close. Gaining. And then falling back as he gets to poor exit out some of the corners. That's been the remit for the past few laps for Sly Tycoon. He's really been getting there.
Yeah, Dejan Lasik almost on a move. Oh, Dave. He spun. The Mercedes driver spun. I saw him going wide out of Cops, and I think he's just overcut the tyres slightly. Went for a move, or Dejan Lasik went for a move on the Mercedes driver. The Mercedes made the move happen for him. He decided he was going to go left instead of carrying on with the corners, and he spun around, pirouetted. He's now in P15, and Dejan Lasik, the Ferrari driver, in P14, folks. P14 indeed. Don't count him out. Well, it might be tough to get a race win. But Sly Tycoon now. The battle we've been all watching this entire race is MJ Coop and Sly Tycoon. There's a yellow flag. That's a Williams driver. Peter Parker's off in the gravel. Wow, he's off in the gravel heading in. Corner numbers. Turn 2. Wow, I just like how flying off. That's going to be a wing change, surely. But it is MJ Coop. Sly Tycoon still battling on. As we go into turn 6 in the Brooklands complex. He's going to try down the inside again. When will they? He's going to make the move. Going to try and make the move. Stick every lap. Oh, he might make it this time, though. Getting a tighter inside line. Oh, MJ Coop comes off to cover him off. Can he get traction? Yes, he can. He still leads. P10 for MJ Coop. P11 for Sly Tycoon. He's got, not has got DRS, but he's got the slipstream. Can he make this happen through Cops? He's right on the gearbox. We're going to Maggots and Beckett's. Can they still stay? P11 and 12. Or is someone going to find themselves on impromptu wing change? It's the, wow, look at that sliding through, managing to keep that gap down. But I think it's still MJ Coop for now as we head into Stowe. Along the straight, we've got a little way to go, but these cars are flying through these laps. We're on lap train 2 of 26 already. I can't believe it. Is this going to be a move? He looks to the outside, looks to the inside. It's the number 2 car, the McLaren. He's trying it, going around. He hasn't made it work. Is this going to be moving to the braking zone? Is he going to go for it? No, he isn't. Come on. I'm willing you on, Sly Tycoon. We want to see this happen. It's getting so close, tantalizingly close. We're now right on board with Sly Tycoon. You can just see how close that gap is. JCol with a 3-second type penalty. MJ Coop through turn 1. Go to the left, cut to the right. MJ Coop runs slightly wide, taking a wider line there. Straight line performance. They might got a warning for that. But Sly Tycoon on the brakes, catching up. Slight lockup on the right front tyre. Fozzy, this is insane.
I'm just sat here watching it with you. It's amazing. I'm surprised that we haven't seen the move come off yet. It's been so close on so many different occasions. Come on, Sly Tycoon. We're all rooting for you. All of us are rooting for you. This is fantastic racing. I'm really enjoying this. I've been jumping between this battle have that with Jay and Amir as well. Try and see if Jay can make the move. That hasn't been able to happen yet, but I'm sure it will happen soon as Pizza parks it in the pits to get that wing changed after his really poor exit through the Abbey and Farm complex. He gets that wing change. New set of boots as well. Will he be able to maybe get a fastest lap? That might be quite useful. If he can, there's noises.
Tycoon off at Cops. He had a crank of oversteer, then a crank of understeer, and then found himself in the gravel. He kept it going though somehow. I don't know how he's kept that papaya car in a straight line, but that is going to cost him this battle. He's now 2 seconds and increasingly slowing down. He's now catching up though, so disregard that completely, but it's 1.7 seconds between them. He's only got a couple laps to get this move done. I don't know whether it's going to happen, folks, but we've got to stay tuned and find out as MJQ runs wide again around that corner there. We head in to the tight left-hander. It's a lockup from Sly Tycoon. Oh, another lockup. These tyres, they're going to feel very second-hand by the end of this, so I doubt Pirelli will want them back. The Sly Tycoon, 1.5 seconds. That looks like that slight misjudgment has cost him dearly here in time and position.
Yeah, don't miss these final few laps at Silverstone here. Jay still up the gearbox of Amir, trying to get that move done. He's running out of laps. He's running out of time now. Hopefully he'll be able to make that move come off. He's a little bit squiggly out some of the exits, and he's low on battery as well. Deploying what he can as we race down over 150 miles per hour towards the Brooklands complex. He holds it back a little bit. He's going to be patient. He doesn't want to ruin his race now. Will he be able to get down the inside of Amir? Doesn't quite look it. He doesn't want to be ruining his front wing, not at this stage of the race, because there ain't going to be much time to catch up if he does, as the Keiran dives into the box. Here we go then. He's got the slipstream down towards Cops, though. Is he going to be able to make the move? They're going to go side by side through the Cops complex. No, they're not. Jay decides just to back out just a little bit more as Amir leads the two down towards the Magnussen Beckett's complex. He's got a big straight coming up. He's not got DRS, and he hasn't got much battery either as Jos takes fastest lap. Will he be able to make this one move? Is he going to be able to get a good drive out? He's got a fairly good drive out. Is he going to be able to get the slipstream? No, he doesn't look it. There it is. There's a slipstream. Left, right. Which way is he going to go? Down the right-hand side. Is he going to make it down into the Stowe corner? No, he's going to have to fall back. Side by side they go. And it is Amir who comes out on top of this one so far. Although we're not done with the lap yet. We're not done with the race yet. Is he going to be able to take it around the outside? No, he's not. The outside turns to the inside as he loses a little bit of wing there, possibly. Has to drop back as Amir gets that fight done. He's going to go, no, thank you. This is my position. It's not for the bottom of the grid, but it is near the bottom of the points. None of them want to be going home without any points, especially after this fantastic drive from both drivers. Yeah, they're battling for around about 3 points for P8 here, but they're battling as if it's for the win, aren't they? It's getting a bit feisty. I tell you what, we're ecstatic in the commentary box. We can see each other just to let us know who's talking when, just to get a better feed for you. But we are absolutely enjoying this one. I hope you are too at home. Find Invictus on all the social media channels, and I'll stop plugging Invictus, and let's get on with this race. Jay Diesel trying to make the move on Amir again. He's only got a match of 2-3 laps to get this done. Amir's slow around Luffield. The Williams gets better traction. No, he doesn't. Sight oversteer. Amir runs wide. That might be a warning. I don't know about penalties, but I only know track position. Here comes a move. Is this going to be it? The Williams to the inside. Through Cops. Oh, there's contact. The Williams around. Jay spun. Jay has spun. That is his race over and done with. Amir secures P8. It's what we were all dreading, but unfortunately, it has come to fruition. Amir P8. Jay comes tumbling down the time towers. Fozzy. Yeah, he's got to be careful of the Ferrari as well, who goes flying past. Not what he would have wanted at all. He was probably hoping to try and make that move, make it a dream move, make it the overtake of the race. But no, unfortunately, it's been the crash of the race. He's spun around, fighting for 5 or more laps, side by side, wheel by wheel, end plate to end plate, and it's just not come off in the way Jay would have wanted. Fantastic for Amir, though. He might have got a warning. I don't think he's got a penalty for it, but it's one less bit of competition for the Red Bull. Unfortunate for Jay, though, to drop down into P13. Going to be near the bottom of the grid now. Danza, his gap between him and Jos has dropped a little bit as well. That's just 3.1 seconds now. Jos really trying to push to see if he can make any final gains, but I don't think it's going to come to fruition, especially with his time penalty. Gaudio's looking quite comfortable in P3 as well. He's got about 5.5 seconds behind to Dino. It's a fight, a close battle going on, but it's always a spin. Who was that for? It's Brownie. Brownie's off. He's spun at the, where are we? We're at the Village complex.
Yeah.
Yep, just through Village and Loop. Brownie seems to just lose it a little bit too much as he goes wheel to wheel there with Dejan Lezic. I think he decides to give that battle up quite early, knowing his tyres are going to be pretty much toast. But yeah, it's close battles all around. It's a real shame for Javo. It was a risky place to make the move around Cops. It's one of the fastest corners in the dry and in the wet. But yeah, real shame that that's come off the way it has, Cameron.
Yeah, it might be a risky move. He's not done yet. He wants to salvage this race as much as he can. He's going down the inside of the exit of left field on the Red Bull driver. Brownie JV struggling on traction. He goes to the inside. A use on the track. There's contact between them on the wheels. Is it going to happen again? Surely not for a second time. He's going for it. Oh, he backs out. He's learned his lesson and he will not reap the rewards, unfortunately, but he keeps his front wing and keeps all 4 wheels. Amir is now behind MJQ. Oh, what's up to Amir? Has Amir spun or something? He's going slow. I think he's just, yeah, he's caught a yellow flag, but someone else has spun. It's Peter Parker into turn 3, I believe. But wow. That, they say you should learn from your mistakes.
Jay's not done. Jay's not done. Just less than 2 attempts between him and Brownie now. I thought he was going to be able to make a move. Amir's had to dive into the pits, though. That's not the move he would have been wanting to make. Is Jay going to be able to make any more moves up into P12? I don't think so. He's low on the energy. But he is right up behind Brownie, running out of time though, as we are now on the final lap here in Silverstone. It's looking fairly comfortable for our race leader, Danza, as it has done all race as well. Amir, like I say, down in the pits, dropping down the timing grid. Unfortunate for the Red Bull team to not be in the points at the moment. But yeah, Danza has controlled this race. He's controlled every lap. He's led every single lap, I believe, near enough. Surprisingly, no safety cars from any of the drivers. We'll worry about that later. O'Dave gets another 3-second time penalty. That's not really going to be much of an issue for him. As we go right on board now with Danza, down towards the final few corners of the race. We're going to make it. He locks up. He doesn't care. He's led this race. He's led near enough every lap. He's controlled it. And most importantly, he's not spun. Danza comes around onto the Hamilton straight for the final time to win here in Silverstone. It's the Mercedes of Danza, P1.
Danza takes the checkered flag at Silverstone for the inaugural race of F2 here in Invictus Racing League. That was a domination by Danza, but we're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. TSR Farnham fighting with Keiran for the small points. There's been an almighty incident somewhere. There's been a yellow flag. I think that might be a McLaren driver. I don't know, not too sure. It might be Dino, maybe. I'm not too sure, but Dino takes fourth.
It was O'Dave. O'Dave had an issue at club, but he's going, and it's the end of his race.
Yeah, there we go. So MJQ.
Oh! Yeah, sorry, there was a Williams that just got T-boned by TS Bunty on the line. Luckily, this is a virtual game, and it was the end of the race.
That's
but, that was not what I wanted to cut to, but wow, what a race that was. There were battles throughout. The deciding order, after all penalties seem to have applied, it looks like Danza, Jos, and Gaudio were your top 3. Oh, I'm going to need to lie down after this one. That was what racing's all about. That was what Invictus Racing League can bring you, and that was one of the best races at Silverstone I've seen for a very, very long time.
Yeah, a brilliant race by all the contestants, even those who unfortunately DNF'd, but a double DNF for Renault. Let's hope they can regain some ground over the next couple rounds. The calendar's not over yet, folks. We've got some brilliant tracks coming up, although I might have to persuade you with the next one. But that is the race over and done with 26 laps of Silverstone. Not a single safety car, whether that's VSE or the full safety car, just flat out pure racing. It comes down to talent in the end, as it always does here. Equal car performance, equal conditions, with the troublesome wet conditions. And there is your winner. Danza takes the goldware.
Yeah, silverware, we'll say, based on the images we're seeing on my end. But either way, it's a trophy, and he'll be happy with it as they spray their champagne. Wow, that was phenomenal. That was absolutely phenomenal. Two races in a row where we've seen a bit of rain, and all the drivers have always been able to cope with it. Fantastic drive from every single person in this race. That was fantastic. I cannot say it enough. I'm very impressed. Great mid-race battles. Wow.
Yeah, the highlight's got to be. Unfortunately, didn't end well for one of them, but the MJQ battle going on, that was amazing with Jay. We want to see more of that. Hopefully it comes out better for both drivers in the future. But there's your order then. Danza takes P1. Jos Heinze P2. He started P2 and he finishes P2 with fastest lap as well. Gaudio, the Alfa Romeo, top 3. Dino P4. And tell you what, Sly Tycoon started 18th, finished 9th. A decent drive for Sly Tycoon there. They can be happy with that one. And then Ferrari, Dejan Lasik P10. And TS Bunty does continue his point-scoring run in P7, having started 8th Good job from all drivers there. The DNFs were Bob and Typhoon. Unfortunate for them. We wish them the best in the next upcoming rounds. But that brings an end to our coverage, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an honour once again to bring an almighty race to your screens and to your ears. Hopefully you don't have too much of a headache from my loud, shouty man voice. But join us next time, as I believe we head to France. So that'll be interesting, said a few people. But we will see what it brings. Yeah, Tilka, I'm sure he said that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the race. Thank you to Invictus Racing League for allowing us to commentate over this once again. We have been enjoying it, haven't we, Fozzy?
Yeah, it's been absolutely phenomenal. I've enjoyed every single moment, all through qualifying, all through the race. It has really helped for championship, seeing some good new points for some of the drivers in there. We'll update you with that definitely in the next broadcast. Don't forget, you can follow Invictus Racing League. As Keiran said, all the links are in the description, and we're all on social medias as well. But yeah, great work by all the drivers. I cannot wait for France.
Yeah, get your your French tourism kit ready. We're going to head to, is it Le Castellet, I believe. So very nice. Hopefully it doesn't rain there, or else that'll be 3 in a row, and maybe we're just the ones bringing the bad weather, Fozzy. But yeah, thank you all for joining. Just a quick note, I don't believe Nico was in that race, so the top 2 remain the same. But Dancer with that win, that's going to pump him straight up. In fact, that will take him to possibly the race lead, actually. Yeah, well, just behind, about 60 points. So it's going to be 7 points behind Adam. So it's now a 3-way fight for the championship lead in the drivers. It's just going to be phenomenal. Please stay with us for the rest of the calendar. That's it from us. And enjoy, everybody. Have a good one. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.